Okay, let's look at the TikTok apology.
If anyone
He looks like very stunned here. I think he is genuinely confused as to what went down. I don't even know if he knows at this point that Miss Mexico thought that he called her dumb. Like I don't know if that part was even made clear to him yet. But later on you'll see in the final apology video, it seems like someone finally explained to him like the nuance of the situation.
feeling not good, if anyone not comfortable,
Oh my God.
if anyone affected,
If anyone is affected by this or they're uncomfortable,
I do
I
apologize
apologize.
for everyone. But I did apologize to the rest of the girl in the room around
See,
70.
okay, and I'm not like making fun of anyone's accent, but you see how he says the word apologize, right? He says apologize. He doesn't even say the hard Z at the end. Like this is so I think dumb head. He wasn't saying dumb head. It's very plausible to me that he was saying damage, like you caused damage or you caused a delay. Some like I don't think it was dumb head. Sorry, I know that I said that a thousand times already on this live, but as someone who has lived in Japan for the past 12 years. Like I was born and raised in America, so that's why I'm a native English speaker, obviously. But as someone who has like been to several different Asian countries and I've been in other situations where misunderstandings like this can happen just because of difficulty in understanding different accents, right? Like not for me. I'm used to understanding a plethora of different accents because that's what I've been around, well, in my upbringing as well. But after I moved to Japan, after college graduation, I've been working here for the past 12 years and I found myself in lots of international global teams where there's all sorts of accents happening in the global meetings, right? So you have French accents, Indian, German, like you develop a very unique talent after a while to somehow like decipher what everyone is saying. And so I can imagine for someone who has grown up or has not, yeah, who has grown up not having had as much exposure as someone like me to different accents that people can have or different, I don't know what you would call it, affectations in English, even English dialects. Different countries have vastly different English dialects. Even if you look at UK English versus American English, some of the common words that we use mean totally different things depending on if you say them in the UK or if you say them in America. So I think he said damage, right? Which also sounds bad, but maybe like in Thai style English, maybe that's not meant as a bad or an accusatory thing. Maybe it's just like a normal way of describing the situation. This is the thing. I don't know. I've never been to Thailand in particular. So I would love to hear a native Thai person or like a bilingual Thai and English person weigh in on this. But I'm thinking like my intuition, my spidey senses, having spent the majority of my life growing up around and having to collaborate with, going to school with, working with people with all different types of accents and English dialects that correspond with where they grew up. I just have this like spidey sense that I don't think he meant anything directly derogatory towards Miss Mexico.
I always try to taking care everyone, give a higher standard, 5-star service.
5 stars.
I prepare everything.
Yo, guys, this is just a Thai rich uncle. Like, come on, really? This is the one that you guys want to sacrifice this time around? I mean, I guess it is a new season. I guess every what did they say? Like every time the weather changes or every season, the universe picks a billionaire or a CEO to sacrifice, right? Holy crap, it's true. Because remember, it was Ocean Gate and then the Coldplay concert that the CEO of the astronomer, whatever startup company, AI company, I don't remember who cheating with his HR lady. Luigi Mangione unalived the CEO of United Healthcare, and now we have Mr. Nawat, CEO of Miss Universe organization, his own company, I'm sure, in Thailand.
For everybody, every country, that I wish to make a history of Miss Universe 24 with the organization. This is my dream.
It's giving glass skin, though. It really is.
But I know sometimes many conditions happen. If you can remember, you will check every situation
I'm gonna.
from announcement, from everything. All the delegates, they are not false. but maybe they confused when they read the announcement to what I want to do. It's very complicated.
Okay, it's very complicated, like lots of stuff happened in the background.
So we will solve the problem by meeting with Miss Universe organization this afternoon in Thailand, around more than 1 hour, because no one has authority for Miss Universe in Thailand now. If Kun Ann still working and Kun Ann in Bangkok, I think it's not a problem at all.
Okay, I didn't get completely what he said, but I think so. He's saying that like basically they revoked power from Thailand, which I guess I'm assuming that refers to him as far as leading or like spearheading the Miss Universe 74 ceremony. Is that what he's alluding to here? Like they've stripped him of, the power as director of this year, or like maybe forever from now on.
So after we discuss and meeting, I asked for one CEO coming to work in Thailand at this moment, urgent.
Okay, so there's another CEO of the Miss Universe coming to Thailand. All right, anyway, let's go to, I don't know what event this is, but there's a final video of him apologizing to the contestants on stage. So they're all dressed up, like the girls are in their gowns and he's in a suit and everything. And again, I'm not like defending him or anything. I don't know his history. I don't know if he's like known to be a sleazy businessman or if he was largely unknown and invisible, or but the fact that he apologized so quickly and so many times, again, it makes me inclined to think that he really was like blindsided and just completely clueless about why this incident blew up so much. Like it really makes me think that this is not something that it makes me think that it was a true misunderstanding that went down, because if he really was this horrible, like arrogant, misogynistic guy that the whole internet is now decided in half a second that he was, if he truly was that, wouldn't he double down on what he said? Like wouldn't he come on TikTok live to lecture us instead? But no, like, and I'm not saying that his apology was perfect, but to me the tone is very like confused, very stunned, and he wants to make it right. And unfortunately, there's still that layer of just cultural and language barrier that is making it more confusing for everyone.
I want to give this
So this is, I don't know what ceremony or event this was, but they're all on stage now. And he's making a public apology again to everyone. So I don't think, like, he's not too proud to apologize. He's not too proud to admit that he did something wrong or he didn't handle the situation in the best way.
I want to give this opportunity to, first, I have to apologize for the delicate even effect and not comfortable it happened. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, he's like, I'm so sorry. Shit happens. So I'm confused, like what's going on? Did they see, this is the thing, right? How do I word this without the entire pitchfork mob coming after me? Okay, I'm using this event to parlay into like a larger discussion about, womanhood, new feminism, we can call it, modern day feminism, all these different movements and all of these different awakenings that we're having as the feminine collective this day and age. I just want to say one thing. I need to get this out before I forget. When I first saw the original clip of Miss Mexico talking back to him and him calling the security on her, which then prompted like at least a dozen other contestants to stand up and walk out with Miss Mexico, amongst them being, so included in the women who all decided to stand up and walk outside with Miss Mexico, it was the current Miss Universe title holder, Victoria from Denmark. She also made a public show of defending her sister, right? That to me, like that gesture was extremely, extremely encouraging to see. Because I'll be honest with you, I would not have expected to see that. If you told me just the first half of the story that, hey, it seems like the director of Miss Universe organization singled out and tried to humiliate one contestant, Miss Mexico, on stage, if you told me just that part of the story, I would not have expected any of the other girls to put their own livelihood, but I would not expect any of the other contestants to put their own chance at winning the crown on the line by walking out with her, which is sad to say, but it's a competition, so I would not have expected that at all. It's kind of like at the Oscars, right? Like if somebody, maybe that's not a good analogy, but it's like any awards show, any competitive situation, I wouldn't expect my direct competitor to like withdraw themselves from the competition as well, just to make a statement. If I was treated unfairly by a casting director or something, right? I would not expect the other people auditioning for the role to stand up for me, essentially. You know, it's sad, but that's life. It's a dog eat dog world out here, and everyone is just fighting for their own big break or their own big shot. So the fact that they all stood up and immediately like showed solidarity to Miss Mexico, that really, really moved me. That showed me that, wow, sisterhood is not dead and it's a powerful thing, right? But then here's where my issue comes in, okay? And I'm not criticizing these pageant contestants in particular though, but I'm just saying, okay, I could not find confirmation as I was doing research for this. Any of the contestants that stood up and walked out, including Miss Mexico, I could not find confirmation that they actually withdrew from the competition, right? And from the looks of this clip, nobody actually withdrew their candidacy for Miss Universe. It was more so like a very, visually jarring video where, so it seemed like from the actions that they took, it was symbolic of, oh, okay, they stood up and they walked out. But did they actually withdraw? Are they actually on the next plane out of Thailand? It seems to me like no, because I tried to find information about, is Mexico still in the running? Is she not? It seems like she's still in the running, and everyone else is also still staying put. And so I'm not saying that I want them to purposely all withdraw just to drive home the point in this situation. No, I feel like this is kind of like a perfect storm that I feel like now they can all parlay into a really, really advanced chess move, right? Like they can all capitalize. I don't care which contestant it is. I think there's 75 girls in total. They can all get a bag off of this as far as I'm concerned. And I do think that staying in the pageant obviously is going to only further perpetuate the publicity that they're getting off of this one incident. However, in principle though, I do find it disappointing. I just find it like, if we want to be taken seriously as women, if we really want to show the world that the sisterhood is not to be messed with, because it's true, if women all decide to mobilize and we all collectively decide to raise our standards and demand more pay in the workplace, demand more maternity leave, demand men to rise to a higher standard when they're courting us during dating. We all know that if every single woman, or even just the majority of women in the world, decide to mobilize and stand firm in that decision, then the systems that are in place in the world right now, the men, the employers, everyone would have no choice but to adjust their behavior towards us accordingly, right? They would have no choice but to give us what we want if we withdraw, our energy. But the problem is, okay, if you make a big show of walking out of a room as if you're withdrawing yourself from the Miss Universe competition, and then behind you follows like a dozen, 2 dozen other girls, that's an amazing image in terms of optics, right? But then if you don't back that up with actually withdrawing from the competition, like basically you're just doing a big thing for show to show that, hey, we're all for women's empowerment and we're not going to stand for this, we are not going to accept being talked down to like that. If you just do it for show but then you don't actually follow through with the action of like basically sacrificing, your chance to compete in this competition that you probably prepared months, years for, then it kind of doesn't mean anything. Like it takes away the weight of the message that you're trying to send. Do you know what I mean? So in this particular situation, like, yeah, Miss Universe, of course, everyone should just calm down. Noah is apologizing like 5-10 times over. He's like crying at press conferences and he can't even scrunch his face up because his face has too much Botox in it. In this case, of course, it'll be boring anyway if like half the contestants actually dropped out, and then that would essentially dead the entire momentum of this amazing PR opportunity. But I feel like there are too many instances nowadays of performative women's empowerment in which, like, people get up on stage and they make all these big speeches and declarations about how we're girl bosses and we can do it all and we're goddesses. We're not going to take this and that from men or from employers. We're not going to accept less paid than the men. But then it's like, if you talk a big talk, but you don't actually take the actions to show people that you mean business. If you talk the talk but you don't walk the walk, your words become more and more weak and diluted, and they're like the less seriously we're going to be taken by the rest of the world. So that's the part that I just find disappointing, that like it would actually be so badass if they all truly withdrew from the competition. Like if every single member, if all 75 girls withdrew and just left the Miss Universe organization like a dead carcass in the middle of the road, like roadkill, that would be epic. But I have yet to see anything close to that level of true activism or like true dedication to all these causes that like modern day women claim that they're for. And yet you're not putting your money where your mouth is. You're not walking the walk. And I just fear that, yeah, like Miss Universe is certainly now it's going to be like, I think Oscars level buzz. But even before that, Miss Universe, it's the Olympics of beauty pageants, right? So it already had a fair amount of publicity to begin with. And so to have a big show of you're going to walk away from this competition and this huge opportunity with your dignity intact to show that, but then ultimately still participate in the competition after everything gets smoothed over and Nawat apologizes on national TV to everyone, it just takes the wind out of the original message, if you know what I mean. And I find that disappointing. I fear that the more times this happens, if it happens again on such a large scale, the more the world is not going to be inclined to take women seriously, you know, because you can't make people change or respect you through just yapping and complaining. You have to actually back it up with action and consequences. Especially for men, right? Like men only understand consequences and actions. So how do you expect the true message of feminism or women's empowerment to be strengthened when an opportunity to actually demonstrate that on such a large scale with the Miss Universe contestants still ultimately turns out to be nothing more than like a PR stunt, even though I know it wasn't a stunt in the sense that they planned it out. I highly doubt that they orchestrated for this to happen. If they did, they would be like next level genius PR marketing